okay? We're going to be practicing Yang style Tai Chi Chuan long form. In this particular take, we're going to introduce what Tai Chi Chuan is, practically speaking, not theoretically speaking, as I think I've already emailed you the actual beginning theory behind Tai Chi Chuan practice. Tai Chi is often called 37 postures. There's 37 postures within the form, but there's 113 movements throughout the entire form. And within those 37 postures, there are 13 energies, also called the 8 gates and the 5 steppings. In order to understand the importance of these energies within the postures, you have to understand what Chinese mentality is. In ancient China, if there was an important person that came to a banquet or any kind of a function, you'd either introduce that important person first or you'd introduce that important person last, or both. So in the 13 movements, or the 13 energies, you're going to be dealing with postures in order of importance. The first one you're going to see is called Pong. Whenever you see this rounded posture in Tai Chi, whether it's like this or like this, that's Pong. That means it's very, very important. It's the first one you're going to see throughout the entire form. The second one is called Ding Bu and belongs to the 5 steppings, and it's called Central Equilibrium. And that's right here. Okay, we're going to go into these in detail. I'm just introducing them basically for the moment. This is Ding Bu. This is center. The first belongs to one of the 8 gates, and Ding Bu belongs to one of the 5 steppings. Okay? Now, what you're going to do when you start off is you're going to put your feet about shoulder width apart. A little bit is okay beyond shoulders. You don't want to be too far out in the beginning, and you don't want to be too narrow in the beginning, because then you have no root. Tai Chi Chuan emphasizes a very strong root, particularly right here in these 3 sections, the ankles, the knees, and the thigh joints. So it's very important that your legs become very strong, hence the low postures in Tai Chi. In the beginning, you don't want to go too low if you can't. Remember, in the form itself, depending on how low you go, you have to stay there in that position for the duration of the form. You cannot go beyond how deep you originally go in the form. You can't raise, you can't really sink any lower. You have to stay at the same exact level you sink to. Okay, so in the beginning, you want to start off, you want to coordinate your physical and your mental centers of gravity. The physical center of gravity is right here. Okay, if you were to take your hip bones and draw a line horizontally through your hips to below your belly button, that would be the center of gravity right there, physically. Your mental center of gravity is right here. It's why your toes point forward. Your feet go forward, because if you're going to carry something, you need to be able to balance it properly. If it's too far away from you and you try to grab it, you're going to fall over. So largely, if you're trying to do anything physical in an efficient way, whether it's helping somebody move, or it's in a combat situation, or it's dancing, or it's working, you have to be able to coordinate your physical and mental centers of gravity. All right? A good way to find the mental center of gravity in coordination with the physical center of gravity is to take your hands, put them about 2 feet in front of you, and if you were to put them slightly forward until you feel yourself being pulled forward, that's too far. Now you're off balance. And in a combat situation, you can be easily pulled. Okay? Or if you're trying to pick something up, you can fall, or you can hurt your back when you lift it. If you shift it back slowly, if you go too far, you're going to notice you're tilting back. If you're too high, you're going to feel kind of like you're floating. If you're too low, you're going to feel stuck. So this is very important here. Finding a nice balance between your physical and mental center of gravity. When you find it, you'll know, because you'll feel a slight floating sensation up here, like you're perfectly poised with gravity. All right? In this posture, which is the beginning posture, you always want to maintain about a fist's width between the body and the arm, beneath the armpit. Okay? You don't want to touch. And you don't want to lock. Your knees are slightly bent, and you never lock your joints. In Qigong theory, whenever you lock a joint or tense a muscle, you block the flow of Qi. Also, it becomes tense and it's not relaxed anymore. The shoulders are nice and relaxed, and you want to hollow the chest slightly and tuck in the tailbone. Not like this, not exaggerated, but just nice and relaxed. This is called opening the qua. You're going to take the curve out of the lower back. So it's nice and relaxed. So this whole section, the torso, is nice and relaxed. All right? And in the form, you want to maintain that relaxed feeling. The tailbone stays tucked in. Shoulders are slightly forward, and the back is slightly arched. This is called Han Xiong Ba Bei, or hollow the front, expand the back. This is yin, the back is yang. And it looks just like this from the side. Hands are about 2 inches below the navel. This is called the lower dantian. In yoga, it's called the Swadhisthana chakra. This is very important to center in Tai Chi practice. Everything comes from here. In the Tai Chi classics, they say every movement is initiated by the legs, directed by the waist, and manifested in the fingers. Okay, so you're going to be seeing a lot of this, hip motion, very gently in Tai Chi, but you're very rooted. The feet rarely come off the ground, and when they do, it's for a purpose. It's not just a step or whatever, and you immediately maintain your root. So starting from the beginning, make sure that your toes point forward. Okay, if you come over the camera a little bit to show. My feet are pointing forward. They're not like this, and they're not like this. Nice and parallel, nice and relaxed. The knees are relaxed, all right? Tailbone tucked, and you want the head suspended, as if from a string from above, pulling lightly. So the head is being gently pulled up, so that the weight of the head is off of the back, and the tip of the tongue lightly touches the roof of the mouth, and you close the mouth. You don't want the mouth to be slack-jawed. And you start off like this. Fists width beneath the armpit. Nice and balanced. You want all of your weight to be evenly distributed on all parts of the feet. Sometimes for many people this feels a little bit like leaning forward at first, but it's because that means the person's prone to kind of standing back without realizing it. Okay, so you want to make sure that all the weight is evenly distributed on the feet. You want to start like this. Okay, so it looks like this. I'll show you from the side. That is called Ding Bu, or central equilibrium. The hand form is very important to understand. The hand form in Tai Chi is like this. All right, it's just like that. The reason for this is that there are 6 chi rivers that go to the 5 fingers. This is the lungs. This belongs to the lungs. This is the large intestine. This is the pericardium, or the sac around the heart. This is the triple burner, which we'll explain later. And in here, there's the heart, and there's the small intestine. Remember, in Qigong theory, whenever you tense a joint, or lock a muscle, or tense a muscle and lock a joint, you narrow the chi flow. You're going to use that to your advantage here. You tuck the thumb in, because there's a very extensive chi and energy in the thumb. That's why it's very strong. You tuck it slightly in, towards the palm. This narrows the chi down here. This is called Lao Gong, the center of the palms. It's the same center used to heal in Reiki. The chi in the pinky has 2 rivers, so it's very strong. You slightly pull it back, very slightly. And the other ones remain kind of neutral. So the hand forms like this. Whenever you see a push, a press or a push, you're going to see at the end of it that the hand form goes like this. Okay, and that's the reason. It's because you're trying to bring energy in its final outward thrust to the hands. You're trying to narrow it and spiral it here. All right, so these are called Buddha hands, or roof tile hands. Okay? So let's begin the first movement. It's called Tai Chi Shi, and its main purpose is to bring the chi down, to sink chi down. All right, if you've ever tried to lift up a child that doesn't want to be lifted up, and you say, how can this child weigh so much? It's because the child is sinking the chi. All children breathe from the stomach and not really the chest. They're very abdomen-centered creatures, okay? And you want to return to that state. So you're going to start off here at Ding Bu, central equilibrium. All right? Knees slightly bent, tailbone tucked in, tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, head pulled slightly up. And here, watch I scoop. My hands are alongside the waist. Okay, I scoop. I cut off the ground connection between the palms and the earth, and I pick the energy up between the palms. Notice how I'm still rounded. My arms aren't like this. Now, I draw on the chest slightly. This is so that I sink the chi down to the lower dantian. And I come up, like I'm lifting something very heavy. Breathing in. Once my hands reach my shoulder height, I coil. And then I come down. The elbows come back towards the body. And once I reach about the belly button, stop there. Okay? So from the side, it looks like this. Notice how my butt doesn't stick out, tailbone stays tucked in, body remains upright, and there's a slight roundness, an arch to the back. This isn't a hunch. You don't want to exaggerate it. It's nice and relaxed. Inhale, coil, and like I'm pressing something down. That's Tai Chi Chi. The point here is to push the chi down and become very rooted. You want to make sure you feel as if there's roots really connecting your feet to the earth, so you're solid to the earth. Okay?